Hello, strategy gaming fans across the globe. It's Strategy Gaming Dojo, and we're live with Gary Grigsby's War in the East 2. It is turn 4. It is Army Group South. Things are on the move. Welcome back. Welcome back. Sorry, just a few minutes late from our 2 o'clock appointment. 2 o'clock Pacific Coast time, that is. Every once in a while, the place where I work gets in the way. I wish they wouldn't do that. It's a bit annoying. Now, if I only get like 47,000 more subs, I could just do this for a living. But unfortunately, that might take a little bit of time, unless you guys get crazy today and all 47,000 of you watching sub. Um, but anyway, we're here. We're finally. I guess I was like 10 minutes late. So anyway, let's jump into the war. Where are we? Well, we are in turn 4. We have just made a breakthrough in the south. And so if I back up a little bit, we can kind of go north to south. As you can see here, the 18th Army has pushed. They are pushing north and just to the west of the Twin Lakes in the north and Lake Peepus. I just like to say Lake Peepus. Now, as many of you that have watched my tutorials know, I love to draw on the map. I can't draw worth a damn, but that's part of the charm of it. At least that's what I hope. Now, I have a lot of artists in my family, visual artists, that kind of thing, or what is it called? Graphic arts, whatever. I do have some artists. That skill completely skipped me. That part of my brain does not operate. Maybe making other parts of my brain operate better. That being said, I wish somebody had mentioned in the comments that they wish that you could draw on the map. And so when I do my tutorials, I do that on a program called Bandicam, and it's got a really quick little pencil that you bring down here, and I can draw all kinds of arrows that don't mean anything, but it's fun nonetheless. I wish I could do that. But anyway, 18th is pushing. 16th has blocked any Soviet thoughts of a counterattack here. And we've got 4th Panzer that said, hey, you know what? Instead of going up this way, why don't we try to make an encirclement here? Now, we have not completely made that encirclement. If we go to that hex and look down here, we needed this hex. We needed to get it. I decided kind of late to do this. Had I been doing it from the start, I could have taken these 2 motorized units, and I think we could have completed it. It would have been close. Well, hell, it's already close. We could have possibly done it. 3rd Panzer has made really good progress here. We don't see anything out here. Now, there is stuff out here, I have no doubt, but we've got a routed unit and a headquarters unit there. 3rd has broken through, and what will 3rd be looking to do? Well, to link up with 4th, link up with 2nd, maybe out and around Smolensk. Now, I gave 2nd a little bit of a breather this time. I do think next time we'll push either directly east or maybe it's really bad terrain right here. Ideally, you'd like to get 2nd Panzer out in this area to Orel up to Tula. There's Tula, there was Orel down there, and approach Moscow from the south and even ring Moscow with 3rd coming from the north. Now, ultimately, that would be great because this is perfect panzer area out here. We'll see what happens. 4th Army has moved up. It's now providing some support on the ground. 4th will eventually take Smolensk. We're not going to do that with our panzers. 2nd Army, we turned into a beautiful fuchsia color. I love it on the map. I mean, I just think this looks amazing. I think I had mentioned if I went to a disco club, I would like to get a satin shirt in that color. Let's hope that never happens for all of our sakes. Security units, they're clearing up swamp rats. 6th Army moving towards its ultimate objective in Kiev, and that brings us to where we are in the game right now, which is in Army Group South. And so, what are we trying to accomplish here? What's the big picture? 6th Army is their big picture is take Kiev and then move east. There's not a real objective after that. We could try to come get Kharkov. We could get out here in this area, Kursk and Kharkov, right? Very famous names in World War II historical history. Will they be famous in this game? We'll see. I mean, there's nothing really particularly interesting about them out here. They do give you victory points now. I think Kharkov does. Well, you know what? You know what that means. Let's go see. Yeah, Kharkov gives you points, does as does Kursk. And if you want to get crazy out here, we could go get Voronezh, maybe. But really, the important things in the south are Stalino and Rostov. There is a lot of production in Stalino, in and around Stalino. And the twin cities here, I'm not going to try to say them because I don't want any more fun to be made of my pronunciations, or Soviet pronunciations. I guess it would be Russian. They spoke Russian. The Rus, the ancient Rus. We are going to go try to take these two to Stalino to Rostov. So sixth will take Kiev eventually, sooner hopefully rather than later, and then we will use them and actually curl them around this way. Meanwhile, 17th Army, they're a cleanup crew, or they have been. They are going to just start booking it east and probably try to take the southern city here, Zaporizhzhia. Okay, I just said that really fast so you didn't make fun of me. And then on to Salino and Rostov. We have Romanians, we have Hungarians, we have Slovaks. We've got various allies down here. They will go to Odessa. Now, when I take over the air war next time, we're going to move one of the naval ops air units down here, and we're going to interdict Odessa the best we can. We're also going to bomb the absolute crud out of it. But the Romanians will be charged. Now, we do have a German full army down here, the 11th Army. Um, I know other people like to take Odessa with that. I am helping because there is a lot stiffer resistance here than there was in the first game. I am helping with 11th Army here, but they're not going to sit around here at Odessa. We'll let the Romanians eventually take that. 11th Army's heading straight east. Okay, I think we're up to speed. Peter Kloss is here. Hello, Peter. Florian. Good to see you, Florian. I haven't seen you in the last couple. I'm glad you're back. You're always a very good corps commander on the ground. Barry. Hi, Zinga. I like it. Hoi hoi to you, my friend. Thanks for dropping by. Always appreciate it. Oh, and I do want to say thank you again. You guys, the channel's growing like crazy, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the comments you guys add to it all of the time. I think people realize it's becoming a resource, and that's not, believe me, it's not solely because of me. It's because of a lot of you. It's a great resource. It is probably the premier resource for this game. And I do appreciate all of the input that you guys do, whether it be here, under the videos, so in the chat, in under the videos, or on Discord, wherever the case may be. I do appreciate it because I do think we are the top resource for War in the East too, and War in the Pacific, if I must say so. And hopefully we will get that way for War in the West. I'm going to start putting more time into that. Oh, speaking of which, immediately after this, I'm going to be doing the Air War Part 3. We're going to keep setting up our first day. We're going to go back and change some things. So stay tuned. He says as a teaser. Yeah, we're going to change a couple of things. I've been reading some things. I've actually been looking at the map. Again, I have not play tested this. This is my play test, or at least the first one I'm going to do. But we're going to maybe change some things around. Okay, let's see who else we can move out here. All right, we've pretty much exhausted 17th Army. They've moved as far as they can. We've got these Hungarians back here. We're not going to really move them. We've surrounded this Soviet unit that's just a tough nut to crack. We haven't been able to do much with that. This element of 17th, I mean, not that this really makes much of a difference, but we're going to move it up a little bit. Might as well get every hex we can. Now, I've been holding back 11th Army here because I'm not exactly sure what I want to do with them, really. I wouldn't mind them coming up here and just blowing more of a hole open here for the panzers. And that reminds me of actually what I really wanted to do at the start here is we have this Panzer division with a lot of movement points that we can do something with. I'm going to move it through this gap. Now, I haven't decided yet whether we're going to try to do an encirclement in the north or the south first. So to leave our options open, I'm actually going to move this unit through here. And you may say, wow, you're opening this up, especially with two headquarters units there and whatnot, but we're going to take care of that in just a second. So let's move that back here, all right? And so we'll get up here tight on it. Now we could come right in on the backside of these guys and really give them a scare probably, but I think this is the best way to leave them. So I have these two headquarters units here. What are we going to do about that? Well, we do have some Romanians that are available. And we're going to bring one of, well, not one, we're going to bring more than one. We're going to bring one Romanian unit there to block any kind of strange retreat. And then we're going to bring this armored unit up here to take that Panzer Division's place. All right. And then we have more. We have, so I'm going to use this kind of roving Romanian unit to, well, I can't really get anywhere with him though. He could come around this way. Does that help? I don't think that really helps anything. He could come straight forward. I need to get him up here a little ways just so he's in command. So I do think I'm going to take him up that way. Okay. And then I'm going to take this cavalry unit and I'm going to put it right behind here. And now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's how I like to use the Romanians with, kind of this. A little bit of encirclement, a little bit of plugging gaps. It's you can kind of use them to wherever you cannot put these Panzer divisions. For instance, that division was holding this whole line right here. Well, now we move this one up here. That's not very strong, and I get that. We may put some more things over here if we can, if I even have movement points to do it. But now the Soviets would have to make a choice. Okay, do we retreat out of here? We've got a Panzer division 20 miles behind us. Do we retreat or do we try to attack across the river into an armor formation? And if we do, what have we gained? Nothing really. And so we are going to put that there. We'll also see, can I move back one of, now see, I don't know. I feel like I should be able to move this guy back a hex. He's got 7 movement points, and I just don't understand why he won't move back. I mean, I guess I could really study the zone of control that's going on here, but it does. I'm just saying visually, it doesn't make sense to me why, with 7 movement points, he wouldn't be able to back up a hex. I would like to back up one of these, but ultimately, if this unit attacks here, first of all, it's not really very offensive. It's more of a defensive formation. If it does attack here across the river uh, into a zone of control, it probably won't have any movement points left. So I think I'm just going to leave that as is. And we've now moved our Romanians. Okay. Now we have our 11th Army units. And this looks a little weak to me here. I see a 4 and a 1. Now we don't know what that is, right? But if I could blow right through here, now all of a sudden we're just rolling. We're just rolling, right? So, hmm. Peter's asking a very good question, Peter. Well, here's the thing. I used to always live stream at 10 a.m. Pacific time. The problem with that is for whatever reason, and I seriously think it's Spectrum Cable out here that does my internet. The time between 10 and noon my time is just no bueno. I have not had one streaming problem since we moved it from 10 a.m. Um, Yes, Florian, I will be bringing that naval interdiction down. Okay, so back to your question, Peter. So I used to always do a stream at 10 a.m. my time. Now we've moved that back. So every day I will be streaming from 2 p.m. my time till 5 p.m. my time. Okay? I may cut it a little early sometimes, but basically from 2 p.m. until 5 p.m. Pacific time, I will be streaming. Now, usually on Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, now this is during the week. I'm gonna be doing War in the Pacific. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'll be doing War in the East too. Then on Saturdays and Sundays, I haven't really announced that yet, but it'll be a lot earlier. It'll be probably 10 a.m. my time. Okay, but I will, you know what? I really do need to put up a schedule so you guys will kind of have an idea. Of course, you may get a tweet if you signed up on Twitter, or you may get it from YouTube, a notification, but I do want to make it a lot more regular. So I will get about doing that, my friend. But thanks for the question. Um, and we'll get a lot more regular schedule going on here. This unit is another one of these the same group. It's like the motorized Hungarians. Um, where do I want to put him? I guess we could put him right there. Let's do it. We'll spacebar it. Now he's up there. Okay, some of these may get counterattacked, some may not. We'll see what happens. But we've got him up here now. That means I'm actually going to move the Hungarians further south. But before we do that, let's take this 11th Army and figure out what we're doing. Now, if we look here, you've got the river. You got this river that runs up here. I'd rather not attack across it, but we really don't have to, because we can go right here. Now, the unit's going to move all the way down here first, which seems kind of odd, right? But it's because of a little bit of a zone of control issue there, I think. So we're going to move this unit here, and we're going to try to blast through here if we can. Now, this is the 11th Corps, and the 11th Corps is under Kurzfleisch. He's 555 with the 7 on the ground. Not bad. As far as just his straight up generalmanship. I wish his admin and things like that were better. Now, we have already given him some artillery. He's got a Stug battalion, so he's all good. And we're going to use this unit to try to start blasting our hole. So let's do a deliberate attack. And wow, okay, we just blew that the hell out of here. Even though that was rough terrain, nice. Okay, I'll take that. Now then, let's move. How many will he have left? Not enough. Ay, ay, ay. I was hoping he'd have a few more. Let's move this unit up here, and let's have, now that's an 8. Let's actually do a hasty attack there and see what we're dealing with. Okay, we got 1.2 to 1. Now, we won the battle, uh, but that wasn't great. Can he move up at all or over? Not really. Let's move Quartzfleisch up a little bit. Let's put this unit here, and let's go ahead. I'm so tempted to go there, but that's arm. Well, you know what? Let's do it. Let's hit there first. All right, they both retreated back. All right, now we should have enough for a hasty attack. We can use both, right? We might as well use both if we can. Hit that unit with a hasty attack with both. Okay, now we've blown a little bit of a hole there. A little bit. Now this unit had to retreat and got really mangled there a little bit. And so that's good. Now, this would all be attacking across the river, right? Let's not do that. Let's not do that with Romanians. I think that's always a pretty good idea not to do it. Um, Wow, that's a full division. I was looking out here thinking I could have looked at the double X's. I was like, gosh, is that a regiment? No. Okay, well, let's do a deliberate attack that's not across the river. They just got chewed up. 862 men. Okay, then. That didn't go well. Well, we're just going to have to leave that alone this time. There's nothing else we can really do. We don't want to do that. Let's back them up. Keep everybody in command. We'll move the main headquarters. We'll get that going. Now we're back down here to another group of the 11th Army. And there's the 11th Army. This is going to be the 30th Corps. And what do we want to do with these guys? Well, I don't know. How's that for an answer? I mean, ultimately, I'd like to push straight north here and link up and just trap all of these units. Um, but we don't really know strengths out here. Now, this is not going to be over a river, so I'm going to do a very quick hasty attack here, assuming 30th does have, and it does have some support units, okay? This is that air landing unit that is very strong. That should be okay. It knocks it back a little bit, maybe not as far as I wanted it to, but that unit has nowhere to go. So he's going to jump the river, and we'll bring up this Romanian unit to take care of, or at least to block them. Let's put it that way. All right, we're going to let this unit try to just grind up the rest. Now, that was over rough terrain, and so that's maybe why we didn't completely rout them. That one retreated. Okay, we got him on the move. We got him retreating back. And we're going to bring all of the elements of 11th Army up here to help with this. So is he? Yeah, he's in command. So let's do a deliberate attack there. Ah, shoot. I was really hoping he wouldn't hold. As you might imagine, you were like, yeah, no shoot, no shoot, huh? Um, okay. Let's go here with air landing. Another retreat. Okay. Now I really don't want him to be attacking over that, so let's just hit them and see what happens. Okay, that's kind of a push. Mm, not exactly when you lose 150 men. Um, right. Oh, well, we can get across here. And that's really what I want. So there we go. Let's move that up, and you can start to see where 30th is heading. Next turn, we should be able to trap all of these divisions. Let's bring him here. Now, I know this is across the river, but I really want to get rid of this unit if we can't. Gosh darn it, 700 men. Right. Okay. Well, that wasn't ideal. We're not off to an ideal start. Hmm. Okay. Now we've got our Romanian railroad unit here. Let's actually just go to 30 core first, or the 30th core if you guys prefer. We're just going to move that up here, and that all looks good. The AI is playing a lot better this game than usual, I'd have to say. Now, all of these units are on, the west side of this river, and so, all right, let's move that there. Now, does this Romanian core have the ability to get any support units? It does not. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to move this unit up to the cavalry unit, and we're going to take both of these and try to knock that back. Okay. Mission accomplished. 1,389 men. Now we're going to take him. He's still in command, and we're going to try to hit that. Gosh, another 800 men. You just can't attack that way with Romanians. I tell myself, okay, I'm going to save the movement points on these units, and the reason I'm going to do that is because I'm going to use these elements of 11th Army, and I'm going to move them up here and try to blow a hole through here. I may have to bring the other parts of 11th back at some point. Now this is 54th Corps. 54th Corps needs some support units. Let's see what we can get. We'll give a heavy howitzer, a Panzerjäger, sure. Okay. I'm surprised we don't have a little bit more than that. But we'll lock those in, so at least we have some howitzers. That's a hasty attack right there. Always hit those fortified with hasty attacks. Um, then I think we can maybe get rid of this one with the hasty 2. It's just a question of how do I want to do it. Would I rather do it with the Romanians? I don't really trust them right now. Oh, we only got a scout out of that. Now we technically won that battle, but that was not the best result I've ever seen. And now then, we're going to have to go up here and do a deliberate attack. Oh, and see, they've got their reserves that helped out there, but it didn't matter. We still drove them back. All right. So now we've got a bridgehead across here to Odessa. I can't get any further. Or farther, if you're a stickler for such things. This unit I will bring right here, and bring this one up, bring this one up. And can I move you? No. Okay. Um, we're going to do a deliberate attack with these two units there, and we got that one to finally rout. Okay. Wow, 7,700 men. No wonder they were putting up a little bit of resistance. Holy cow. Now, if it's your first time playing this game or you haven't played that much, don't go this way. Don't go this way. Get across the river up here just north of the swamp and come down to Odessa. The first time I ever played this game. Um, oh, thanks, Peter. Yeah, put it on your calendar. Hell, put it on my calendar. That's who needs it. Scooter, what are you doing? How are you? Enrico, haven't seen you in a few days. What's going on? Um, Yeah, Enrico, his Air Force in the South has taken a beating. He keeps trying to run these ground support missions. I haven't really been talking about it, but you're right. If you are really watching some of these battle results, he's sending. Where in the heck did I get off to there? There we go. He's sending a lot of his Air Force in on ground support, which is helping him in the battle results, but they're just getting absolutely decimated. Now, of course, they can make a lot more planes, that's for sure. Yeah, this wasn't a great idea. I just decided to go across the Dnieper there, but not much going on. All right, we have this bridgehead here. Don't go this way. Now, you may want to go take, we'll take one of these regiments and go take these airfields just because that's a good thing is to have the airfields. We may want to bomb Odessa a little bit. But don't feel like, you can really do much down here. You really got to get across the Dnieper right up here. Um, he can't really get much further there, so we'll bring him up there. All right, let's bring the headquarters up. These guys, that's a full division actually. Can he get across? Nah, he can't get across the river. That's fine. Bring him up there, and we'll bring this final one. I don't know. How about right there? I guess that means we'll take the headquarters and actually get it across the river. Now then, this is the 321st. I think I want to put the 21st together. So let's do 321st. That's two of you. Where's the one? There it is, right? No, that's not it. Where's the rest of this? There it is. Gosh, blind. All right, let's put them all together and make them a division. I like that. Your comrades. All right, move that up. Now then, can any of these guys get across? I guess not. Well, we'll have to do it next time. Not a huge deal. But I wish I could get one of these across just to establish it. We do have a strong zone of control that will be emanating, but so maybe they won't be able to come back in and take that. But I really wish we could get across. Yeah, you need like 8. Obviously, you need like 8 to get across here. So that's not going to work. Okay, well, it is what it is. We'll be ready to cross here, and these will be the units we'll use to take Odessa. Now, this unit goes all the way back to Army Group South. I think we can just put them in 11th Army. Why not? We could put them in here. 54th Corps. This is Hanson, who's a 556. Whatever. That's not bad. So we will put that in 54th Corps. Okay. So now he's part of 11th Army through 54th Corps. Here comes the other part of, I say the other part, some more Romanian command. This is Army Group Antonescu. We have this Corps headquarters that's just floating around down here. It's not commanding anything, but eventually we'll have to find something for that to do. We've got our railroad unit here that we have not used completely. One of the reasons I did that attack a minute ago and tried to knock this across the river is so we could get our railroad unit going. Now it costs more down here. No Baltic Rail Zone. And there we go. Okay, so Romanians continue to build rail. We've got the rest of 11th taken care of there. We've got this army group. I mean, he did not doing a whole lot. He's just sitting over the top of this core headquarters. Okay. This all looks fine. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I think we've basically moved everything we can move. Let me back up for a second just to make sure. I cannot believe this guy just can't get across anywhere. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll take this little regiment and take these airfields for the potential bombing of Odessa. We will be moving the Romanians up. I have taken air assist off, and so we will be doing all of the air war. He says, as it wasn't showing that I had. I'm glad I came and checked. I'm glad I said that because we want the air assist off. All right, now it's going to ask us if we want to do depots. Okay, so let's just look around very quickly. Just make absolute, okay, that's why I do it. Just make absolutely sure we've moved up everything that we should have moved. Um, sure, I'm just going to go stack that headquarters here to make sure everyone's in command. That's your command, that's your command. Okay, that all looks fine. Um, that's fine. Is he out of command? No, 5 of 5. Okay. He's not going to get a whole lot of supply back here. None of these guys are. It's actually why I could have just left him here. We already had the breakthrough, but I wanted to kind of threaten to break through to the north as well. This all looks fine. You can kind of eyeball all these headquarters. Are they close enough to the front to have everybody in command? What about, okay, so that's 17th Army headquarters. There's Army Group South. You can also see how we're building our logistics network. This is, let's get off that for a second. Okay, Army Group South. Here comes double rail up to 17th Army, double rail up to 1st Panzer Group. All of these are in places that have double rail. Another thing to think about is how many rail yards, or at least making sure they have a rail yard wherever you build a depot. They've got to have, it will build a rail yard for you if it's on rail, but if you've already got one, that can be an advantage. I will be putting up the logistics tutorial um, tomorrow morning. Okay, so if you were wondering about that, now we have 6th Army all the way back here in Chelm. If we bring up Chelm, it's just got one railway. I really maybe could move it up to Rovno. When I say rail, I mean rail yard, okay? Um, I could move it up to Rovno, but I don't think I want to do that. Where is six? Oh, I just said, where is 6th Army headquarters? Well, he's probably right here since you just clicked on that. Um, actually, we are going to move that to Rovno. Now, let's see. Do we have a depot here? I don't think we do. All right, 6th Army headquarters now in Rovno. And let's go up here and create a depot. Yes. And we're going to make that priority 4. Everything close to the front, you generally want to have a priority 4. Well, you want to have 2 or 3 main ones along here. Now, all of these guys are still close enough to the Romanian border that's not a huge deal. Um, but let's go ahead. We'll move the headquarters up here for 11th Army. I guess I should have the logistics net, but we're going to put another depot there and at a priority level 4. Okay, so that should supply everything in the south. And this one we're going to click back to a priority level 2. Okay, so it should flow through to there. Big capacity, I like that. 2 and 2. All right. Now, what is supplying all of this? Well, we've got, he'll be supplying a lot of it. Tarnopol. Tarnopol is a 4. Lvov, I really want to make these 2s. All right. So normal priority. Lvov, though, I'll make a 3 just because or keep it a 3. 2, 3, 4. It's moving out to the front, but it will keep some. Lvov is, obviously a very important spot on the map. And if we go look at Lvov, it's got 6 rail yards. So, ultimately its capacity should be bigger. I just moved that to Rovno. That all looks fine. Two. I need one of these to be a three. Let's go look at them again. Well, we know what Chelm is. What is this? Lublin. Lublin has two rail yards. We'll make Lublin the three. We'll make this a two. We'll keep that a two. All of these should be ones or twos back here. If it's on a coast, always make sure it's a two, because that's the only way it will be an import port, or it will bring things into the port. Now these are threes back here. We don't need these as threes. These could be either ones or twos. We'll just make them twos. Normal. Again, you don't want these things trying to stockpile and not getting things to the front. What's what do we have? Bucharest. Bucharest, we'll just make that a two. Let's put this as a two. All right. So two. Now this is a three. Let's make that a two. You kind of want it to go one, two, three, four out on the map from back to front in some respects. Now you do got to keep in mind though, you got to be drawing some to the south. So if I say you got to be drawing some. You got to be drawing freight from Germany to the south as well, and not just to the north and the center. So you're going to want to keep one of these as like a three or a four, so it draws more than Minsk, let's say, right? So we'll keep this one a three, just to make sure we're getting enough down here. Twos, twos, twos. We'll keep Lvov a three. So kind of think of it as like having one big distribution center back from the front that you have as a three. Everything else should be a two, and then up at the front should be a four. Okay, that's a three. Lublin, we'll keep that a three. What do we have Warsaw as? Perfect. So Warsaw's a one. We've got Brest as our main distribution center up this way. Um, Minsk really should be a four. All right. So we've got four, one, two, three, four. This can be a two, one. We've got this as a two because it's on the coast. So the ports, always try to keep them as two. I've got Vilnius acting as kind of a main supply center to send it either to Minsk or up to these two. Now we really should make a choice here, and I think I'm going to choose this, but my panzers are here, of what should be a level priority four. I don't want all three of these to be a four. I actually kind of want to get rid of this depot. This place, Gulbin or Gulbana, doesn't even have a rail yard. Why don't we destroy this one? Sorry. Gulbin. Let's disband that. Nah. Yeah, let's disband that depot. Okay. And we'll put one in Peskov when we get there next turn. So now we'll go, two, three, four onto Peskov. This will turn into a three. This maybe will be a three, and Valeki Luki will be a four. Vitebsk will be a three. Smolensk would be a four. Mogilev maybe a three, and we would turn Minsk down to a two, so on and so forth. But when you're thinking about your supply priorities, think of Germany, right? Hey, Krang Mimi, what's up? Falcons, hello, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Um, Oh, good question, JMG. Did I send? Oh, I still have the 11th under the Romanians, I believe. That's a good question, though. Let's go look. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. Yep, I've still got him under the Romanians. He's got 32 command points that have to be commanded. And he's a little oversubscribed now. Question whether I should have put this one division in there. Not a whole lot we can do about it now. We may end up, because 17th Army is oversubscribed, 31 of 27. 6th Army is right on it, 27 of 27. We really need another army, guys. Of course, the lament of every general in history. We really need another army. Yeah, we'll mess around with the command structure next time. I'm just going to leave it as is now. So we've spent almost all. We could build another depot somewhere. Now, I just got rid of that one. I don't think it's needed. Oh, I don't think that that needs to be a 3. That needs to be a 2. We're bringing 3 all the way up to Riga, right? So 1, 1. These don't have ports. They can be ones. This does, so that's a port. Two, you're trying to draw some up here, right? So two twos, that's fine. We got a 2 on the coast. These I've turned down to 1, except for the one on the main railway, which is a 2, 2, 3, and then 4 out to Minsk, right? So it's pulling freight this way. It's pulling freight this way. Um, all of these, yeah, these are 2s, 1s. That's how it should be. 1s. I've got Brest as a 3, and I've got Lublin as a 3, or Lublin, I'm sorry, as a 3. Lublin should probably actually be a 2. Um, but I've got Brest as a 3, so too much freight doesn't go past it to the south. It'll pick that up and send some of it up to Minsk on this major railway. You want to try to, Lvov is on the major railway in the south. So I've got it as a 3, and then I've got the 4s out here. So it should come to Lvov and say, oh, we've got a higher priority. Let's get further out here. If it comes to, what do we have here? Rizal, sure. Rezazao, okay, whatever. It 2, 3, 4. It should keep pulling it out here. Okay. Let's go to the commander's report really fast and just make sure we don't have anything wild going on. Distance from headquarters. Okay. Let's go look at the negatives because they are out of command. And why? Why would you be out of command? 1st Romanian Cavalry Brigade. Uh, okay, in 10 Corps, these are Germans. Now, generally, or I say generally, many times, like 6th Romanian Corps, there's a reason they're out of command. They're tethered back to something in Romania or something like that. But you really shouldn't be seeing German units that are out of command. So let's go look for these on the map. Whoops, why did it do that? Can I do it this way? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So obviously their commander has left them behind. Oh, it was these units that we were there. They had fallen behind, and we made the conscious decision to bring the uh, generalship or command headquarters up there. So that all looks fine. We'll go ahead and go look at this 1st Romanian. Yep. So this is back in Romania. They'll still show up on the report. I guess we could probably um, isolated, static, frozen. Yeah, okay. We could take off units that are frozen, and we could take off units that are static. No, that didn't work. Frozen. Okay, let's go back down here. What's it showing us? So, like, that unit was frozen. It can't go anywhere. Okay, yep, it took it off of here. So I think if you just click off here, no, you can filter this a little bit. Those were the Germans. 5th Corps. Why is 5th Corps out of command of Ninth Army? Well, we've got Ninth Army all the way back here at Vilnius. And so this Corps headquarters needs to move back a little bit. And we could do that. We've got plenty. Wow, he was really out of command. Hmm. Well, now these guys are going to get out. It's not the biggest thing in the world, right? It's just next time I'll forget. Hold on. Yeah, I do want to move him back here a little ways. But I don't think we're going to be able to get them in command. It is what it is. Okay. This part of 10th Corps, this is another part of that Corps, or I say 10th Corps, 20th Corps It's another part of that core of Ninth Army that's moving up there north and that just got left behind a little bit. The 294th Division. Why? Oh, this one we left behind. Okay. It will catch up. 102nd. That's 5 out. Wow. Security. The motorized corps. Now, we really, really don't want motorized corps to be out of command. And that brings up something that we need to do. And that's why I saved 1 point. So we're going to take 4th Panzer Group. So 18th Army's here in Riga. We get no further advantage from having 4th Panzer Group here. So we're going to put 4th Panzer Group here on the major rail line. Say, okay, wonderful. And what are we going to do? We're going to build a depot. Create a depot. Yes. Okay. So now this is on a major rail line. It will be a 4. So we'll crank this one down to a 3. And we'll also crank this one down to a 3. You don't want it to be pulling all of it here. You kind of want it to go, half C's, one here, half here, half here. So we make them both 3s, right? And then this priority takes over, and we'll be pulling from this 3 up to here. But at the point out here at Vilnius, it decides it'll say, oh, I've got a 3 here and a 3 here. It should send kind of half and half to them. Anyway, that's how it should work. We shall see. Crying Mimi, I am going to have to upgrade to 007. I was having a hard time getting a handle last time. I don't know why. I don't know if it was the server was too busy or there's something about the beta that I got because it was a previous, like a few days in advance, and they did change it after that. But I was not able to upgrade to 007. We'll see. After this, I'm going to try to, and we'll see if we can. I obviously can't uninstall and reinstall 007, right? Because we'll lose this. So I don't know. I'm hoping I'm able to upgrade to 007. Okay, we build all our depots. We've spent all of our APs. Hopefully that helped you with the logistics a little bit. As you can see, we've got 3, 3, 3. We've got a 4 out here, right? We've got, really, I should make Minsk a 3 now that I'm looking at it. And you just do these kind of layers depending on how far away from, where the freight will be entering the country. And you do, 3s kind of here. You're really where you really want the freight to go to before it distributes out to the highest priority right out by the troops, right? So we've got some 3s back here and then a 4. We've got a 4 here, 3, 4. That works. We don't have a 3 down here anywhere. Do we have a major railway that I would like to put it on? Not really. Um, so we'll just have this as a 4. I should maybe have this as a 3, but we'll leave it for this time and see what happens. Okay, so let's resolve the turn, or at least our ground movement part of the turn, and see what happens. Let's see if we start to get counterattacked. Let's put the message level on 2. That works for me. Is there anything else I should set? Did you guys see anything else? Was there something else I really needed to do? Yeah, I have a problem with matrix updates sometimes. I don't know why that would be. I'm just not a technical person, but I do have it from time to time. We've got ground support on. That's good. We are providing ground support to all of our armies at this point. Let's see what happens as the Soviets start to run their logistics. It's always weird to me how this transposes the colors, right? I mean, this is our territory, but it shows as all pink when it goes through the Soviet turn. I guess that's because if you play against another human player, that's how they see it, right? It's their turn, right? So this is enemy territory. This game's going pretty well so far. It's not quite as good as my War in the East. The one was going because we just were steamrolling in that one. The AI has been improved in this game. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I really like what the AI's done so far. I mean, I think it's played, and I don't know all the behind the scenes stuff, what it's doing with its Air Force, how it's starting to think about building guards units and things like that are important to the Soviet player. But just from what you can see on the map with Fog of War, um, did they just capture something from us? What the hell was that? Huh, that was kind of interesting. I don't know how they could have come and captured a depot from us. Be kind of curious to see when they start running air superiority missions, things like that. It's too early for them to do that in turn 4. That'll be like turn 12, but well, they've taken 50 air losses here. That's always good. I feel like recon gets shot down very easily in this game, and I'm not really sure what to do about it. As a matter of fact, when we do the Air War episode right after that, I'm going to get rid of the recon missions. I feel like recon missions are just getting blown out of the sky, and maybe I need to be running them over like 20,000 feet or something. I don't know. It's just something to think about. If you guys have answers, let me know. If you have the key, looks like they're dropping back out of Vitebsk a little bit. I guess we'll find out when they get to their air or their ground movement here. Well, we're in ground movement. All right, let's see what they do. If you look back here at what the Soviets do with their depots, you can get kind of an idea of what the game thinks is ideal. I mean, of course, you can do that on your side too, right? Hit the AI depot and see what the AI likes to do. But you can see it's setting up its depots just like we are, right? Fours right out here by the troops. Now this is a two, but you see a three. These are ones back here. Two, three, four. And that's how I'm starting to think of these depots. And the more I read of the logistics section, I think that's really how you should think of them. One, two, three, four to the front. I agree with Enrico. Enrico, it does seem like we're moving faster, or we could. Now, we gave our panzers a little rest this time because it was just the kind of thing where, we were going to get way too out in front of what else we had going on. Okay, the Soviets are running their resupply missions through the air. We're hitting we actually haven't stopped too many of these. I'm surprised. We got no counterattacks that time. Not that I saw. I don't think there were any counterattacks. Now that is something. If I was playing the Soviets, I would be counterattacking from time to time, just to keep the Axis player honest, and try to run the gap. Maybe even do a counterattack, like let's say right in here. To where you have to think about the rail line a little bit at least. But you're always going to lose troops doing it, and a lot of them if you do it too much as the Soviet player. But I do think it's smart to do to at least keep the Axis and the German player from just boop 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 hopping hopping hopping. Nazar, you watched them all, huh? Good man, good man. You're ready. I know you're ready. Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you for the kind words. The Netherlands. I've got another Dutchman in here. Well, maybe you're not Dutch. I don't know, but you live in the Netherlands, and so I'm going to call you Dutch. I've got some Dutch ancestry way back, way back. My family came out of the Netherlands, ended up in Wales, um, part German, part Welsh, part Dutch. And my family actually came over to America in the 1630s. Now, that was pretty early on. There were still some crazy, it was still the Wild West or the frontier, kind of just anywhere away from the coast back then. But yeah, three brothers came over with my last name, and I'm the great grandson of whatever the youngest one was. Anyway, moved to Kentucky and then to Illinois. I finally made it to California. Anyway, okay. Whoa! Look at our air forces on the move here. We've moved way up. Um, Now let's go look at. I want to see something. Okay, it did keep the AI air assist off. Okay, so now we can this time around start really messing around with the Air Force and what we want to do with them. That's good. Did they fall back at all? It looks like they're rushing here to Valeki Luki. They did bring some forces down here to keep this encirclement from happening. That's actually kind of what I wanted to happen. This is almost like a feint over here, and now we'll bring the panzers north. They had a whole line here, and they may still, we'll have to find out, but they had a whole line of troops here, and it looks like they've shifted some of those this way. I'm seeing major retreat here to the northwest. 16th Army will move up here and it will guide what we're going to do with the Panzer group. 9th Army, okay. I mean, I'm sure there's stuff here. We just don't have good recon on it. That's one thing that I'm going to change. We're going to do some more recon. Although, like I said, I feel like recon is taking outsized losses in this game. And I got to get the right formula to get my recon in because you guys know I love recon. 4th Army looking good. We're across the Dnieper. Hell, there's been games called that across the Dnieper. That's how important it is. And we have hopped it. Looks like a nice little pocket we could make right here, huh? Bust through here and around we go. What's happening in the south? Well, we've lost contact with all of these Soviet forces. It looks like they may be dropping back to make a secondary line here. But like I said, we're going to get TAC recon out here and figure out where the heck everybody is. Let's look at losses. All right. Oh, we didn't get quite to a million for the Soviets. So we're running almost exactly 10 to 1, which is where you want to be going into turn 5. We've lost 102,000 men, maybe a little bit higher than the old game. I think going into turn 5, you would normally in the old game have about 80,000 in losses. I must say, when I stream, I probably play worse because I don't think about things as long. And there were some ill-advised attacks in the south. We probably could have kept it down to about 85 to 90,000. This is, 7 or 10,000 men's not going to make a difference in a conflict this large. Guns 1760, 338, including the lost 25 Panzers. I'll never forget that. This is maybe a little high. I would rather this be like two. When I say a little high, we're doing great. But 250 to 300 would be better. This around 1500 would be better. This breakdown is kind of always going to be the same ratios for the most part. Soviet losses 994,000, 17,000 guns, 6,500 armored vehicles, including 636,000 prisoners, 205,000 men disabled. Let's look at air losses. Um, we've taken 1,200. That's a lot higher than the old game. Our air force, the Luftwaffe, has taken a little bit of a beating, and let me tell you, you need better than 4 to 1 early on. Well, I say you do, not really. This is a ground war, but still 4 to 1, not good. I mean, it's not nearly as good it was as you would get in the first game. I'm just using that as some kind of comparison, not to keep talking about the first game. I'm just using it as sort of a comparison. Um, so, we're like 4 to 1, a little better than 4 to 1. That's a lot lower. I mean, you would have been expecting 8 to 1 before, maybe 7 to 1. So, their loss is not as good. Now we've had the AI run the entire air war to this point. That is over. That that is over. I look at those numbers and I'm like, No, no more AI. No more AI. So when we come back next time, actually, that'll almost be like an air tutorial again, because we are going to go all the way through our Air Force, our Luftwaffe, Hungarian, Romanian High Command, Slovaks. I don't care. If you're in the Axis, we're going to reset your air forces. And so that'll be turn 5. We will be redoing that. So that'll be interesting, right? Because that'll be a lot different than what we wanted to do in turn 1. I can tell you a lot of what, as a Axis or German player, what you're going to be focused on is ground support. I mean, the Germans really use their air force to support their ground. If you think about the war in the West, the Allies really used their strategic bombing as their main weapon. Uh, the Eastern Front's completely different, where you're going to be doing almost no strategic bombing. You may do some tactical bombing, but I would tell you, as you get into the game, never run missions where you don't have escorts. Do not send any bombers out there. And so the way that you can do that is select no on partial escorts. And the other way you can do that is when it asks you down there where you can put in the numbers for the air directives and it says minimum to do a strike, put 0 for that so it's auto. But then it'll ask you minimum number of escorts, put 1. Always put 1 in that once you get going in this game, because that will keep it from ever running an unescorted mission. Now, you may not get the full complement of escorts, but between those two things, really it should not run anything that's not fully escorted. You Okay, so you could do this a couple of different ways. You could do it 0 as the, or I'm sorry, 1 as the minimum number of escorts and leave partial escort as a yes. And that way, I mean, what are the chances you've only got one jet? Or why do I say jets all the time? You've only got one fighter. What are the chances you've only got one fighter available that could run escort? Very low. What are the chances you have 0? Pretty good, right? So if you put that as 1, it's going to essentially tell the game not to run missions without an escort. Okay. Or you can just tell it, do not run partial escort missions. It'll never run any missions where it doesn't have a full complement of escort. That might be a little severe. So if you just put in 1 as the minimum number of escort aircraft, usually you can avoid, well, you can always avoid doing unescorted missions, but usually you can avoid even doing very under strength ones because the chances of just one being out there are very low. Usually, if there's one, there's going to be 10, right, that still have air miles left. Anyway, I will be back in 18 minutes at 3:30 my time, and we're going to do the Air War Part 3. And then I will also be streaming War in the East 2, this Let's Play. We're going to get into turn 5 and start setting up the air war tomorrow, right after War in the Pacific. So I'll do War in the Pacific at 2. I'll do this game at 3. I think we'll be done with the air war today. So, I will be doing this game at 3 or 3:30, depending on how long War in the Pacific takes. Sometimes it takes a little long. Those War in the Pacific turns are no joke. So thank you guys so much for dropping by. I continue to be amazed by the support. I really, really appreciate it. And thank you so much. I'm glad you're enjoying these things. I hope you're learning a lot. Hell, like I always say, I learn a lot every episode from you guys as well. And so 3:30, about 15 minutes, I'll be back up and we're going to finish up the air war and run the numbers and see what happens. So thank you guys so much. And I will see you in just a little bit. Strategy Gaming Dojo.